At Queen's Park, the Ford government is considering changes which would make some information from the province's sex offender registry public.
The premier even suggesting he would use the notwithstanding clause to make sure the change could not be challenged. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris is live tonight with those details. Siobhan.
Well, right now, only police have access to that information, and they can release it under very limited circumstances. But the premier is aiming to change all of that. The Ford government's contemplating opening up Ontario's registry for sex offenders.
To protect our communities, protect them from people like these. I can't even put the word out there. They're a bunch of diddlers. I can't stand them. They make me sick.
This comes a few weeks after Canada's highest court struck down mandatory minimum sentences for possession of child pornography.
What is the Supreme Court thinking?
And in September, hundreds of people showed up to a Niagara area courthouse after someone on the sex offender registry allegedly broke into a home and sexually assaulted a toddler. That's prompted many Niagara councils to ask upper levels of government
to amend the Sex Offender Information Registration Act.
Legislation to be introduced next week will start the ball rolling.
Have meetings with our stakeholders to see what information can be released.
Doug Ford already clear about some specifics he wants shared.
You have a sex offender and he's living next door down the street and you have a bunch of kids. You want to know about it.
It's going to put some people at risk, I think.
This former Toronto police detective explains the problem is what people do with the information.
Are we going to be looking at vigilantism in neighborhoods, demonstrations in front of homes?
With more eyes watching, there may be more calls to police.
Because the person who's on the sex offender registry was walking past a community center. And people are going to say, oh, I'm calling the police right away because obviously he's in breach.
I asked the Solicitor General if he'd thought about possible vigilantism.
And that gives a person who's on the registry a greater awareness that, you know, they must behave, they must uphold the laws.
The Premier expects this proposal to be challenged in court, but isn't deterred.
I'll use the notwithstanding clause in a heartbeat.
That pitch to start consultations will be included in a broader justice bill next week. The idea is to have some proposals ready for the spring. Reporting live from Queen's Park, I'm Siobhan Morris. Michelle, back to you.
Thank you, Siobhan.